You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Right now, a manhunt is underway after an armed robbery at a local Waffle House. We'll tell you where deputies are focusing their search. Plus, the Hawaiian volcano spewing fire and releasing toxic gas, while the challenges have just begun for thousands of people.
And less than a month until hurricane season begins, where hurricane hunters are headed today to gear up for the big season. We've got those stories, plus your first alert forecast and traffic. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
Good morning, Monday, May the 7th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning at 5 o'clock. A little less rain on tap for today. Right, John Scalzi?
A lot more sun. Absolutely right. Although yesterday wasn't too bad. You know, we needed the rainfall. We got it over the weekend. Yes, that's true. But today, the sun returns, and I think you might notice some lower relative humidity out there as well. It's actually shaping up to be a pretty darn good week. We have a frontal boundary located basically over us right now. That's what that trail of clouds is that you see carving its way through central Florida. That front sinks southward, and as it does so, our winds out of the north draw down some drier, less humid air, and it should be just delightful as temperatures rise. From where they are now at about 70 in Sarasota, 69 in Bradenton, 69 Wauchula, Mayaca 69, Inglewood 72, Venice 71. They'll rise up to about 88, 89 degrees for a daytime high today. Yep, it's going to be another warm one, but the good news is it will be dry as a bone out there. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the road. Some early buildup right now. You'll notice on 301 southbound as you leave downtown Braden. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south now. Look at the bayfront, a little buildup there. I can tell you firsthand there's plenty of construction going on the road at 41 at Bay Street by the new Publix there. There's cones up right now, and there's some residual backup on Mound as you come from the bayfront. Also Bee Ridge, some issues there in the eastbound lane. And South County all clear right now. Here's a live shot at Fairfax Drive East in Bradenton. They're starting a project there today, so it's partially closed. We see an oncoming car there, I believe. This is a quiet street in Bradenton, Fairfax Drive East at 45th Street East, so be aware of some construction today until Friday. Fairfax Drive East will be closed at the intersection of 45th Street East. The closure comes as a way for a large diameter storm pipe to be installed as part of the roadway improvement project there. Right now, deputies are actively searching for the armed robber who held up a Bradenton Waffle House last night. Deputies say he wore a hooded sweatshirt and a ski mask when he robbed the Waffle House on 67th Street Circle East around 5 p.m. He ordered workers to get onto the ground before demanding money from the cashier. Now, we spoke to the cashier who was forced to open the register and give money to the robber. She was the only one in the restaurant, as well as a server and a cook. The cashier says the gunman pointed a gun at her and told her she had 5 seconds to give him money or he would shoot her. She says he got away with $400. If you can help the police solve this, call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, 866-634-TIPS.
And now over to Hawaii, where Paradise is on fire this morning. More than 2,000 people have been evacuated so far, 30 homes destroyed after Mount Kilauea erupted last week.
And this morning, scientists warn the situation may get worse before it gets better. As Diane Macedo tells us, the dangerous situation could go on for weeks.
I just think this is a special part of the Air Force Reserve.
This morning, the fiery line of lava on Hawaii's Big Island shows no signs of slowing. New drone video shows the lava spewing from the ground near the Kilauea volcano.
It's bad. It's the toxic gases is bad. The level of lava that is coming out of that fissure is bad. The amount of volume of lava is bad. I mean, this whole thing is a bad situation.
Some of the lava fountains are shooting as high as 230 feet in the air, and that lava is burning everything in its path, including cars and dozens of homes.
Still a shock, and the memories kind of the one that hit me hard. Seeing these photos in my head of me and my brother in my backyard, and now it's covered in 10 feet of lava.
At least 1,800 people have been forced to evacuate from 2 neighborhoods. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is there.
The biggest concern is with the sulfur dioxide fumes pouring into the air from those eruptions, the toxic fumes in the smoke engulfing those neighborhoods.
Hundreds of small earthquakes are also jolting the area after a magnitude 6.9 quake, the largest to hit Hawaii in more than 40 years. Scientists warn the event is far from over and say more earthquakes and eruptions are likely.
Bracing for the worst, hoping for the best.
Diane Macedo, ABC News.
Right now, hurricane hunters are on the way from Mississippi to Texas to get ready for hurricane season, which gets underway, by the way, on June the 1st. This is the first of a 5-city tour for National Hurricane Preparedness Week. Keesler Air Force Base's 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron left last night. They left for Texas with other stops planned for Louisiana, Alabama, and Florida. The squadron is taking part in the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's NOAA Hurricane Awareness Tour.
I just think this is a special part of the Air Force Reserve mission. So there's a lot of us here. Some people are part-time, full-time, but a lot of us are actually part-time. So we have civilian jobs, and we come in and do this as needed when the weather arises. So it's nice that a lot of us are part of even some of these communities that we'll be visiting this week and get to give back in that way.
The hurricane hunters fly around and through developing storms to gather information about them. And as we head into hurricane season, here are 6 storm safety tips for anyone who lives near the coast. Just because you evacuate to a hotel doesn't mean you won't take precautions there. You may have to leave your room and go to a stairwell or the ballroom. Also bring cash. ATMs could run out or go down if the power is out. If you have to fly, stick to carry-on luggage so your valuables won't get lost in the shuffle of canceled or delayed flights. Don't try to ride out the storm if there is an evacuation. First responders will be stretched thin and may be able to get to you or may not be able to get to you. Stock up on bottled water or water purification tablets. Flooding often compromises the drinking water. And stock up on basic first aid items before the storm. Hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th.
Sarasota County is hanging out the Help Wanted sign for lifeguards. The county says they've seen a drop in applications over the past few years. So in response, they are raising the pay to $12 an hour now. Applicants must be able to swim at least 14 laps in the pool and have a lifeguard certification, which also includes CPR, first aid, and rescue skills. And more help for homeless animals here on the Suncoast. According to the ASPCA, 6.5 million dogs and cats enter animal shelters every year. In response to that, Nate's Honor Animal Rescue in Manatee County is trying to raise $8 million. They're hoping for an expansion that would allow it to take in 50% more dogs and 25% more cats. Bishop Animal Shelter, another no-kill shelter, also has announced plans to expand. Now they are hoping to double the number of dog kennels to 100.
We are a no-kill shelter, so it takes some of our animals longer to get home. So the more space we have, the longer we can allow these dogs to wait to find their new owners.
They adopted out nearly 2,000 cats and dogs last year, but that was still less than the number of animals that they took in.
5:08 still had the latest and first alert traffic. And Marla?
And we all know Suncoast traffic could be really busy and hectic no matter if it's your morning commute or when you're getting off work in the evenings. But could it also be wreaking havoc on your health? We're going to be telling you coming up at 6 o'clock.
And coming up a little later in the hour, teachers in Colorado go on strike again today, closing the schools there. We'll tell you exactly what the offer is that they rejected. But first, let's take a look outside. A beautiful morning shaping up right here on the Suncoast. John, what is today looking like?
Well, you know, we got a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning, but, you know, it's all part of a frontal boundary sinking southward. That frontal boundary is going to bring us a wind shift, already has started to bring us a wind shift, drawing down drier air. So none of the inclement weather boxes checked for your morning commute. Everything looks good. The forecast calls for a drive time of about 70 degrees. And as you head home tonight, it'll be a warm one coming in the lower 80s. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right? Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy. I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Now your ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, a nice day shaping up for us today. We'll have a sunny, dry kind of pattern locked in all week long. We'll start out at 68 degrees by 7 o'clock this morning, sunny and dry through the day, taking us to noontime temperatures of about 82. No rain in the forecast. Lower relative humidities will start to settle in by 3 p.m., and I think you'll notice it by that point. 88 degrees, our daytime high, certainly warmer than yesterday by a few degrees. We'll have lots of sunshine around, and that'll help boost our temperatures to that point. And then by the evening, beautiful sunset, I suspect, with high pressure building in from the west. A little bit of cloud cover, perhaps in the form of high thin clouds, but not much else. Daytime, the evening temperature coming in at around 82. Right now we're looking at 70 degrees with a dew point value of 68. That's still high, but you'll notice that, well, actually the winds have gone calm at this hour, but just a few moments ago the winds were out of the northwest, indicating that we do have a flow that's going to bring us a little bit drier air. So I suspect that by the time we hit that 3 p.m., 5 p.m. kind of time frame, that dew point value, now riding at 68, will probably be dropping down into the mid 60s, maybe even some low 60s. 68 degrees in Parrish. Bradenton coming in at 69, so is Lakewood Ranch 70, and Sarasota 71 out at Longboat Key. 71 degrees in Venice, and in Inglewood you've got 72. 69 Myakka, 72 Northport. Look at the sustained winds currently. They're absent from my forecast map here. Well, that's too bad. Anyway, they were out of the northwest. Now we got some 7 miles. There we go, out of the northwest now coming in at about 7 miles per hour. As I mentioned, with that northwesterly wind flow and a frontal boundary sinking south, we're going to enjoy some of the dew point values that they have up in the northern tier right now of the state. Check it out. These are dew point values, not temperatures. Remember, dew point values tell you how much moisture there is in the air. A dew point in the 50s, everybody agrees, very comfortable. Dew point in the upper 60s, it's okay, but it's starting to feel a little humid. Now, in the northern part of the state, all the dew points are in the 50s. Gotta love that. That is a dry, lovely feel to the air. In our area, well, we still have those dew point values that are high, so some people will think it feels a little humid. Other people will say, this is okay. Well, certainly the drier air filtering in will make, I think, everyone feel that we have some nice, comfortable afternoon temperatures, even though they'll be kind of warm. Now, that's at the surface. Aloft, this is the available moisture to produce rainfall in the atmosphere. It's a map I'll show you sometimes. This one shows that the humid air that we had in place over the weekend that brought our weekend rains is going to be pushed south, and the drier air will start to filter in. That drier air will be an indication that we'll have a pretty much rain-free sky as we head into the entire rest of the week. So that's good news. So the forecast, if we could get it to move, would tell you that I'm going to walk over to the computer and hit the space bar over here so we can advance this show. I wanted to let you know that we will have dry weather with temperatures near 90 right straight through the week ahead. And there we go, and very little relative humidity. Northwest wind comes in at about 10 to 15 knots. And as we head into the 7 days ahead, looks pretty spectacular, actually, each and every day. Warm, but at least dry until we get to the weekend, of course, when we'll factor in that chance of rain. Back to you.
All right, thanks. So I'll take a look outside. Your first alert traffic out there this morning. The roads right now are pretty decent in Manatee County. No real construction or anything like that that's going on. One hot spot to tell you about a little bit. If you're coming over the bridges and you're heading from Bradenton into South Bradenton, we're starting to see a little bit of congestion in that area. But that's really about it for Manatee. In Sarasota County, if we move down that way a little bit, those roads are looking a little bit better. If we can go to Sarasota County, not so bad in there. 41 starting to see a little bit of a backup. There's some construction right there in Fruitville and 301-41 area. So that's showing a little bit of congestion. A little bit farther south in the area, those roads are not looking too bad. If your commute includes 75 south or 41 south, you'll have a pretty decent commute if you're leaving within the next half an hour. So it's 5:17, and that is your first alert traffic. Well, speaking of that traffic, especially your morning commute, we all know that it gets pretty hectic here on the Suncoast. Some intersections in the area have close to 60,000 cars traveling through them every day.
And that can cause headaches, literally. Marla Spence joins us now live from State Road 70 with what doctors are saying about your commute and how it affects your health. Marla.
Good morning, guys. We all know sitting in heavy traffic, getting cut off by another car, or even aggressive drivers could cause your heart rate to start racing and going up. We all know this could cause stress, but could it also be causing harm to your health? Dr. Chippy Nalori, who is a cardiologist at Sarasota Memorial Hospital, says there are no studies that directly link stress to illnesses like heart disease. She says although there's no link, she says stressful situations could cause the heart to work overtime in those with higher resting heart rates. Dr. Nalori says a normal resting heart rate should be anywhere between 50 to 70 beats per minute.
Higher resting heart rates have been associated with higher risk of all-cause mortality and higher risk of cardiovascular death.
And Dr. Nalori also says a higher resting heart rate could be anywhere between 70 to 100 beats per minute. She tells us there are a few ways to manage stress and how to even lower your resting heart rate and who exactly is at risk. All of that is coming up at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, despite Facebook's massive data breach, people are still surprisingly loyal to the site. What one poll is showing when it comes to Facebook loyalty.
And next half hour at 5:30, we'll show you how hurricane hunters are preparing residents around the Gulf Coast. Here's a peek outside our window after a rainy weekend. Some clearing now, 5:19. And you're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny'd been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Welcome back at 5:21. Pretty shot there. Boy, some daybreak already.
Gorgeous out there. They got about 55 degrees right now. It's going to warm up to feel about in the mid-70s. Finally seeing some warm up there on the East Coast. And moving on, happening today, teachers in Colorado are on strike fighting for higher pay. Classes are canceled due to the strike. Now, so far, district officials said they have offered teachers a one-time $1,000 stipend, just over a 2% cost of living increase. It's going to start with the next school year, plus an extra $50 a month per employee for health insurance, which is $20 more than the last year's offer. So what exactly do teachers there want? Well, that cost of living increase to be retroactive to the beginning of this school year.
The fact remains that the district doesn't have the funds to meet the association's demands.
I hate that they're having to go on strike. They shouldn't even have to go on strike, honestly. They shouldn't have to fight for what they deserve.
Well, 70% of the teachers in that union voted to reject the offer. Just 30% wanted to accept it. And former First Lady Hillary Clinton had health care. Nancy Reagan had the Just Say No to Drugs. Barbara Bush promoted literacy. And later today, First Lady Melania Trump will formally announce her platforms during an event at the White House. It's going to be her first speech from that location. Now, before the election, Trump said she would lead a campaign against online bullying. Her spokeswoman says the First Lady will broaden her platform a bit to include the, quote, overall well-being of children, including better behavior on social media.
Do you like ABC7? He said yes. He likes your channel.
All right, a robot with good taste. More than 100 Girl Scouts are learning about designing robotics as part of an effort to earn badges in the field of science, technology, engineering, and math. Their fellow Girl Scouts lead the lessons after having received training from education majors at USF St. Petersburg.
We're teaching girls how they can also be involved with, robotics and STEM, and we're teaming up, with the college and really just letting them know that, they can be in robotics no matter what, and, the steps of designing a robot and being able to present it and just be creative.
Some of the other lessons the girls learn: building roller coasters and race cars as well. They look heavily engaged there.
They do. Very nice. My oldest daughter was a Girl Scout and enjoyed it very much. Good. A lot of social skills. They had social skills, math skills, science skills, and they applied them all across the board. So it was
wonderful.
Great organization.
Love that.
A new poll shows a majority of people are still remaining loyal to Facebook despite concerns about its privacy.
Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook unfazed by the recent data breach.
A new poll found 3/4 of people say they use Facebook as often or even more frequently since it was discovered Cambridge Analytica misused information from Facebook users. The iMac is now 20 years old.
Apple CEO Tim Cook celebrated the anniversary by tweeting videos showing Steve Jobs unveiling the first iMac in 1998. It cost $1,300, and with 4 gigs, it had a fraction of the storage space of a current iPhone. And billionaire Elon Musk's next possible venture is a sweet one.
Musk tweeted that he wants to start a candy company, but it may have been an attempt to troll Warren Buffett, who owns See's Candy. The two billionaires have been criticizing each other about business models. Little rivalry
among the billionaires. Well, those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Safelite Auto Glass.
So you think this chip is nothing to worry about? Well, at Safelite, we know sooner or later, every chip will crack. These friends were on a trip when their windshield got chipped. So they scheduled at Safelite.com. They didn't have to change their plans or worry about a thing. I'll see you in a little bit. And I fixed it right away with a strong repair they can trust. Plus, with most insurance, a Safelite repair is no cost to you. Really? Being there whenever you need us, that's another Safelite advantage.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Feel the clarity of non-drowsy Claritin in relief from symptoms caused by over 200 allergens, like those from Buddy. Because stuffed animals are clearly no substitute for real ones. Feel the clarity and live Claritin Clear.
What if the vacuum head was reborn? Shark has added a rotating soft brush. So while deep cleaning carpets, you can also grab large particles, pull in piles, and directly engage floors. Duo Clean, invented by Shark.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317. Go online or visit a Target store today.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Right now, a manhunt is underway for an armed robber who held up a Bradenton Waffle House. One of the victims told ABC7 about the encounter. And getting ready for hurricane season, how hurricane hunters are gearing up for the season.
And a 94-year-old Virginia veteran honored for the difference he's made in the lives of Air Force families. Those stories in the forecast right now on Good Morning Suncoast.
Good morning to you. It is 5:29. I'm Stephanie Webb. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
And I'm Ray Collins. John Scalzi called it. He said rain on Saturday evening. Yeah, we saw that, didn't we?
Yeah, we got a little bit, and we used it. We needed it as well, is what the guy's trying to say. So it was nice to see. You know, came down kind of gently actually. So it was no real severe weather outbreak, and that allowed the moisture to kind of percolate down into the ground, which is exactly where we need it in those aquifers. So good to see. Cooper in central Sarasota, 70 degrees right now. We have a frontal boundary sinking southward across the region, kicking up some cloud cover, and it's possible in the extreme southern sections around Fort Myers or maybe as far north as Charlotte Harbor, you might get a brief sprinkle under some of these clouds. But, you know, I didn't put rain chance in the forecast today because basically most of us won't see any. If you do, it'll be like a intermittent windshield kind of thing, windshield wiper kind of thing. And as we head into the afternoon, it's nothing but blue sky. A lot of sunshine in store for us as that front sinks south. Temperatures across the region generally hugging the 70 mark about wherever you look. And as you head into the afternoon, we're going to enjoy some temperatures that top out warmer than we saw over the weekend, coming in the upper 80s. But we're going to have that drier relative humidity filtering in that'll make it feel just so excellent. Complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic now. Some buildups there on 301 in both directions. Nothing major so far to report. Farther south, we'll check the maps into northern Sarasota County. Some blips there just east of the interstate on Fruitville in the eastbound lane. Nothing much too far today. Also farther south, something down there by 41 as you head toward Murdoch. Otherwise pretty clear right now. Here's a live picture of one of the busiest intersections in the area during the day. Not too bad right now either. Showing some buildup already. This is 301 at University. This is at the county line. Sarasota into Manatee County and vice versa. Busy spot there. And we'll check back and forth. In fact, we'll also do a traffic story for you about the headaches of the morning and evening commute. That story's coming up in a matter of minutes here on Good Morning Suncoast. But first, a developing situation in Manatee County right now. A manhunt is underway for an armed robber who held up a Waffle House. It happened near I-75 and State Road 64. Deputies say a man wearing a hooded sweatshirt and a ski mask entered the facility about 5 o'clock last evening. He ordered the staff inside to get on the ground before demanding money from the cashier. Deputies set up a perimeter, but the robber remains on the loose this morning. Now, we spoke to that cashier afterward. She said no customers were inside the restaurant, just 3 workers. She says he pointed a gun at her and told her she had 5 seconds to get the money or he would shoot. She says he left with about $400. If you can help solve this one and find this man, call 866-634-TIPS.
The suspect in last month's shooting at a Tennessee Waffle House will make her first court appearance today. Officials have charged 29-year-old Travis Ranking with criminal homicide in the April 22nd shooting rampage at a Waffle House in a Nashville suburb. That one left 4 people dead and 4 others injured. Now, he was eventually caught after a frantic overnight manhunt that included more than 80 Nashville police officers, FBI agents, ATF agents, as well as the Highway Patrol.
Well, Venice will try again to start a road project now that the new bid is $3 million less money. Stormwater upgrades were supposed to start on West Venice, West Miami, and West Tampa Avenues, but the cost of the work came in over budget, putting things on hold. Last Tuesday, the Venice City Council would vote on a new contract with a firm from Naples. New wheelchair-compliant sidewalks will also be installed, along with updated landscaping as well. They hope it's done later this year in time for the holiday parade.
And happening today, the hurricane hunters are in Texas for the first stop of a 5-city tour to get ready for National Hurricane Preparedness Week.
Reporter Ray Price shows us they're getting residents ready for next month's hurricane season.
When the hurricane hunters are in the sky, you can assume that something serious is heading our way. Since this season is expected to be more active than usual, nothing is more serious right now than preparation.
We need to get the word out to people so they understand that the information they're going to get from TV stations such as yourself or from the National Hurricane Center, we're going to give that information as much credibility as we can by actually being out in the storm.
Over the next 5 days, the squad will stop in 5 cities across 4 coastal states to make sure people are ready for this year's hurricane season. The airmen say these trips are some of the most important and meaningful in their line of work.
You know, most of the people that fly with the Hurricane Hunters are part of a coastal community themselves. So to us, this is where the rubber meets the road. You know, we're just getting ready to start hurricane season. We're getting ready to start providing a bunch of information, and we want to make sure that everyone's going to pay attention.
I just think this is a special part of the Air Force Reserve mission. So there's a lot of us here. Some people are part-time, full-time, but a lot of us are actually part-time. So we have civilian jobs, and we come in and do this as needed when the weather arises. So it's nice that a lot of us are part of even some of these communities that we'll be visiting this week and get to give back in that way.
About 15 crew members are on board, which is more than the standard number, but it makes the trip easier to have more people giving tours of the plane and answering questions. In Biloxi, Ray Price, WLOX News Now.
Now, one of the cities the crew will stop in is Beaumont, Texas, where Hurricane Harvey left behind record-breaking rain last year. Now, here are 6 storm safety tips for anybody who lives near the coast. Keep these tips in mind. Just because you evacuate to a hotel does not mean you won't take precautions still. You might have to leave your room or go to a stairwell or the ballroom. Bring cash. ATMs could run out of cash or the power could go out. If you have to fly, stick to carry-on luggage so you don't lose your bags in case of a canceled or delayed flight. Don't try to ride out the storm if there's an evacuation. First responders will be stretched thin and might not be able to get to you. Stock up on bottled water or water purification tablets. Flooding often compromises drinking water. And also stock up on basic first aid items before a storm. Hurricane season runs from June 1st to November the 30th.
Well, kicking off the week with some good news, a 94-year-old Virginia veteran got an incredible honor over the weekend. Angel Flight Mid-Atlantic honored Captain John Billings in Norfolk. Now, Billings is a World War II veteran, and these days he volunteers his time with Angel Flight. He flies people who can't afford a plane ticket and takes them to a hospital or a clinic around the country where they can get free care. Now, his story has been told across the country and has touched so many Air Force families.
John, on behalf of the Chief of Staff, I have a letter that he wrote to you. It says, Captain Billings, thank you for your incredible legacy of service to our nation as an American airman, and congratulations on your selection as Angel Flight's Mid-Atlantic Volunteer Pilot of the Year.
Captain Billings has flown more than 425 trips for Angel Flight since he started in 2005.
Oh, he flew during the war. Now he's helping as a civilian.
Giving back. I like
Wonderful.
that very much.
5:37 right now, still ahead. Latest and first alert traffic and...
Take a look at this video. Prom season is now officially underway, where these officers got to show off some of their mad dancing skills. We're going to have that coming up for you in about 10 minutes. But first...
we'd like to show you live shots around the country, around the world. This is a live shot. Hard to see right now, kind of dark in Miami Beach, but those lights out there in the distance show that is southeastern Florida. John Scalzi, how's the forecast here?
Yeah, it looks pretty good for us. We're looking at daytime temperatures to top out warmer than we saw over the weekend, but it's going to be lower in relative humidity and drier, so it'll feel more comfortable, I think. As the kids are picked up at the bus stop, 73 degrees under clear, dry conditions. And as they're dropped off this evening on the way home, 88 degrees. Again, sunny skies and not much in the way of a rain chance. 10 out of 10 chance today for an outside recess. Complete forecast details coming up in about 3 minutes.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. all installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So as we head through the morning, I think it'll be a very quiet, pleasant morning. We'll have a little bit of cloud cover out there, but still a fair amount of sunshine bursting through that cloud cover. By 9 a.m., we'll be at about 74 degrees. As we head into the afternoon, sunny and dry conditions will prevail, 82 by noon. And then as we head to 3 o'clock, probably see a little bit of that drier air start to filter in by that time. You'll notice it is lower relative humidity, feeling pretty good. 88 degrees, our daytime high temperature, and then 82 as we head into the evening under very pleasant conditions. Dew points are still high across our region, coming in at 68. But as I said, we'll be in the process of dropping those dew points as winds turn north and we start to see that drier air filter in from where it's already settled in north of us, up around the Big Bend region and points north of that. 70 degrees current official air temperature at Sarasota, Bradenton. We're looking at Bradenton coming in at 68, so is Parrish, Lakewood Ranch at 69, Mayaca 69, Northport comes in at 71, so does Venice and Inglewood. Across the region, winds generally are very light and somewhat variable at this hour as the frontal boundary is basically sitting just to our south. We're sort of in that zone of transition. Remember, a frontal boundary is not a solid line. It's a zone of transitioning weather, and that's kind of what we're in right now. Out of the north at about 2 to 5 miles per hour or northwest, and that'll be the case through the morning, drawing down that drier, less humid air. Dew points to the north of us are close to the 50 mark in Tallahassee, 57 in Jacksonville, rather, and in Pensacola coming in at 52. These dew point values feel great. And that north wind is going to draw some of that drier air into central Florida, where right now dew points are closer to the 70 mark than they are the 60 mark. Later on in the day, we'll see that kind of reduced. There's our frontal boundary, sinking southward, taking the cloud cover with it. Sunny skies will greet most of the Big Bend region, the panhandle of the state, and north central Florida. we'll be left with maybe a little bit of high fair weather, clouded, but you know what? That will be quickly mixing away and eroding away and bringing us sunshine to boot. In the tropics, things look pretty good nearby. Nothing here that spells any kind of development anytime soon. As that front sinks south, this dry air on our water vapor imagery indicated by this tan color filters in. And with that comes basically a zero rain chance and also plenty of sunshine in store. Look at all that stream of dry air going back toward Texas. All of that is what's in store for us this week. Some pretty nice weather. So we have a series of low pressure areas. The first one, that frontal boundary sinking south, brings us high pressure and fair skies. Another one just to our north will kind of limp through here and reinforce that dry air. You'll hardly even notice its passage, but it'll come through here in a day or so, and that will just give us another couple of days of beautiful weather. It will today, however, bring a few scattered showers around the Atlanta area. We'll watch for that. Just standard thunderstorm, not severe. High pressure builds in once our front sinks south. Winds turn north, draw down that drier air, and we're left with some pretty nice weather. Sunny and warm, lower humidity, and really the next rain chance is not going to come our way until the weekend, and then it's really only going to be about a 40 to 50% chance of rain. We're kind of still in the process of refining that forecast. Radar right now absolutely clear of any echoes. We're looking at a nice day with winds a little bit breezy perhaps for boaters. Northwest coming in at about 10 to 15, subsiding a bit during the overnight. Should give you a building sea to about a moderate chop a little later in the afternoon with 2 to 3 foot seas. So the forecast for the week looks pretty good. A 9:18 high tide, a low tide at 12:16, and a daytime high topping out at around 88 today. Plenty of sunshine, lower relative humidity. Tomorrow, exquisite. Again, a daytime high of about 88, full sunshine wall to wall. And no rain in the forecast really for the next several days, with daytime highs warm up near the 90. That's about 5 degrees above where we normally would be at this time of year. Next chance of rain comes on the weekend at about 40%, and then again 50% on Sunday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there. Roads are starting to build up just a little bit more, but no real hot spots right there in Manatee County. If you want to head over to Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty decent. A couple hot spots right in there as well, right there on Bee Ridge Road between 75 and 301. We're starting to see some slowdowns in that area, as well as University Parkway, like we normally do around this hour. Not too much to see the farther south that you go in the map. A little bit of slowdown right there on 41, but other than that, your morning commute is looking pretty decent. That's your first alert traffic. And right now, here's a live look at 301 and University. This, of course, is one of the area's hot spots, especially around that commute time. The later in the morning, the more traffic that you will see. And coming up a little bit later in the hour, Marla Spence is going to be doing a report on just how all of those commutes and now the stress at them affects your health.
Let's do that right now.
Let's do that right now. Well, it is no secret that traffic gets a little more hectic here on the Suncoast. Some of the intersection hot spots around the area can have close to 60,000 cars traveling through them every day.
So could your commute be bad for your health? Marla Spence has details live from State Road 70 near Lockwood Ridge with what doctors are telling us now. Marla?
Good morning, guys. As you all can see, traffic is pretty busy here on US 301 and State Road 70, and it's expected to pick up in about an hour or so. And the morning traffic commuters, they'll be on these roads, and they could be a little stressful, but is that the only thing that will be causing health issues to them? We studied to find out if, in fact, this is happening. Dr. Chippy Nalori with Sarasota Memorial Hospital tells us drivers usually get an increase in heart rate when feeling under stress. She says an increase in heart rate is normal, but what may not be too normal is an increase in heart rate of those who already have high resting heart rates. She says a normal resting heart rate is anywhere between 50 to 70 beats per minute. Dr. Nalori says people who tend to spend most of their time in their cars are usually at risk for higher resting heart rates and high blood pressure. She tells us higher resting heart rates are associated with cardiovascular death, but Dr. Nalori says all of this can be turned around with a few minor health changes.
Increased physical activity definitely makes an impact to lower our heart rate, which is favorable. That's what we want. And obviously, healthy
And And tonight at 6 o'clock, I'll be having a special report. We took 3 everyday Suncoast drivers, took them over to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, and hooked them up to heart monitors to see exactly how their heart was being monitored and if, in fact, they felt any stress, and to monitor their health. Those results will be coming up tonight at 6 o'clock on My Suncoast. Reporting live in Manatee County, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Stay safe out there. From winning a silver medal in the Olympics to Dancing with the Stars, well, first off, in South Korea, Chris Mazur became the first American athlete to win a medal in the men's single luge event. And now, as you see, he's showing off his fancy footwork in the all-athletes edition of Dancing with the Stars. He says his life has changed since he won that medal.
So my life has definitely changed after getting second place at the Olympics. That Olympic medal, it definitely doesn't change who I am, but it changes what I can do. I have a new level of exposure. I was able to raise a lot of money for a charity that I work with. Also, I have opportunities to be on Dancing with the Stars and put luge out into the spotlight, into a different audience that has never been reached before.
Tonight at 7, hear from him on the transition from the snowbanks to the dance floor.
Well, prom season is in full swing, and for one school, it wasn't just the students busting a move. Check it out, these Boynton Beach police officers were showing the kids just how it's done. They escorted a group of students to the prom. They even prepared their boutonnieres and their corsages for them. The officer said on Twitter that it meant the world to be able to share the night with them. I like that. Making them a little bit more human. Can you imagine going off there with a police officer?
Community policing at its best.
There
wow,
you go.
That's good relationship building there.
Yes, absolutely. All right, moving on a little bit. Let's take a look right now outside to the beautiful skies of Capitol Hill, where it's looking nice out there today. It's going to be about a high of, what, 74?
50, yeah, 74, 58 there right now. That is such a pretty shot how the inside of the dome is lit up right now. Looking toward the south there. And here's how it looks here. Darker here than there. John Scalzi will tell you about the curvature of the Earth. 5:51 will update the day's top news headlines after this.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you!
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face! In your face!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Every child follows a path in life.
For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC 7.
We've been following breaking news for you. A shooting that took place.
There is a person of interest.
We are looking at a rainmaker, this cluster of clouds heading toward the state of Florida.
Weekdays starting at 5 a.m.
It is 5:54, and here's some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
The search is on for the armed robber who held up a Waffle House near State Road 64 and I-75 last night. He held a gun to the cashier's head.
Plus, 2 local animal shelters are hoping to expand. Nate's Honor Animal Rescue is trying to raise $8 million, hoping to take in 50% more dogs and 25% more cats. Bishop Animal Shelter is also hoping to double their shelter. They want to double the number of dog kennels to 100.
And the Longboat Key man who fired shots in downtown Sarasota before a standoff with police at the Westin Hotel is now under evaluation. 25-year-old Ryan Flanzer fired the shots at a door in the 1350 Main high-rise. Nobody was injured.
And coming up in the next hour, new information this morning from President Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who talked with ABC News about that hush payment to Stormy Daniels. And at 6:15, an amazing story this morning of a boy from Alabama, literally back from the dead after losing pieces of his skull in a strange accident. We'll have his story later on this morning.
But first, here's John Scalzi's story on the Monday forecast. John?
Yeah, pretty good for us today. The pollen count is low. In fact, it's going to be moderate, I think, all week long. We have trees, grasses, and weeds are all the 3 contributors, but the pollen count now about a 5, and remember when it was at its worst, it was a 12 or a 13, so not too bad. Also, the Friday update from the red tide status shows that all flags flying green along our area coastline, so all the beaches are not reporting anything in the way of red tide in the waters, and that's a good thing. As far as our forecast for today goes, we'll look for 4 beach balls out of 4 for your sunset walk. We'll have the complete details in a second.
Very nice. Good way to start the week. Thank you, John.
All right, and thank you for waking up with us this morning. The news continues with another full hour of Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.